Hello friends, welcome everyone to your channel, the Erzan Front. Okay friends, today is March 4th of the year 2026 and this is a new update on the latest events that are taking place in the conflict in the Middle East. The conflict in the Middle East continues to escalate more and more. We see that the war is no longer unfolding only in the air and on land, but it is also unfolding at sea, because we have information to share with you, and that is why we wanted to make this video at this moment, taking into account that later we will have an update on the conflict in Ukraine and later at night again, well, in the late afternoon another live broadcast related to the conflict in the Middle East, but apparently a United States destroyer would have been hit by Iranian attacks. And not only that, but also an Iranian corvette would have been hit. A new aircraft shot down is also reported, which is not yet known whether it is ultimately a coalition aircraft or an Iranian aircraft, although well, there is information about what has been happening. The attacks continue on one side and the other. The Iranians continue attacking United States bases. We have information on, well, all the bases, basically the damage caused to United States bases in different parts of, well, the entire Middle East, all the damage that has been caused. We have all that information, we will also be showing it. So it is a program with a lot of information, many last-minute updates. But before starting I want to greet all the people who listen to me from anywhere in the world, especially the subscriber friends of our channel. Having said all this, we are now going to begin, dear friends. We have a lot of information to share with you, as we have already explained. And well, we are going to start precisely with the latest that has occurred regarding the attacks, right? Regarding the Iranian facilities where the latest attacks carried out by the United States-Israel coalition continue, hitting the bases, and well, you all already know the targets that have been hit in recent days, although today images were also revealed of course, the building of the Assembly of Experts that was completely destroyed, as we showed yesterday on our channel. Yes, the truth is a lot of destruction. This is the building where the experts met to define, well, who was the new Ayatollah, although well, as everything seems to indicate, the son of the recently deceased Ali Khamenei has been designated as the new figure, right? Who would be the Iranian supreme leader? More images. This is in the square, in Asadi Square, yes, in Iran. Attacks also in the square carried out by the coalition. Well, as you can see, many civilians also have been, well, unfortunately have perished, have died in this war. Strikes in the center of Tehran, in the capital. You can also see the fire in other facilities, as you can see, completely burning, right? These facilities in Iran. The truth is the blow by the coalition has been brutal. It is true that it is brutal, but Iran has also responded in kind. It has done so, and the situation is, let's say, escalating more every day, because you are going to see that the sea is now also a source, a moment where there are clashes. At sea there are also clashes, we will be looking at that. This is the industrial zone of Hakamil as well. This industrial zone in Hakamai, which has continued with these attacks that continue to be reported in recent hours. We see images of all kinds, strikes of all kinds everywhere. The truth is it has really been brutal, right? The attacks of the last day. Also in the area, as we always say, the northwestern area, where attacks by the United States and Israel continue in recent hours, there is no doubt that important facilities continue to be hit throughout the geography. Of that we have no doubt at all. Here is the map of the different attacks, and well, drones are also making their presence felt. Here we see how these Israeli and United States drones operate in Iranian skies, right? Important all this that is happening in recent hours in Iranian geography. The truth is the strikes continue to occur in recent hours. Images have even been revealed of warehouses as well, ammunition depots that continue burning at this moment as a result of the attacks by the United States and Israel coalition. Yes, because it cannot be said that it is only the United States, it is also Israel. These are remains of a downed drone. We also have images of other downed drones. Important. Well, this image had also been circulated where apparently, I do not want to talk about this topic because it is important to mention it. Here we can see an Mi-17 helicopter, or, well, what is a decoy? It is a decoy of an Mi-17 helicopter that was hit by a bombing, but in reality it is not a real helicopter. As you can see, it is drawn on the ground, it is only a decoy. The Iranian MiG-29s, for those who were asking about Iranian aviation, the Iranian MiG-29s continue to fly the skies of Iran. There we can see it. They are still in the skies of Iran 2029. That is to say, Iran still has an air force that can somehow limit, in a certain way, let's put it this way, somewhat limit the coalition's attacks, right? Here we see all these images. Yes. Now, today images were released of an aircraft that had been shot down. This yes, a down jet. Here we can see it. Yes, this aircraft that had been shot down, but there were doubts because it was shot down over the skies of Tehran. At first it had been said that this aircraft had not been an Israeli aircraft, it had been shot down. This was said only at first, but in reality information then began to arrive and it has still not been possible to confirm, but Israel had explained that an F-35 aircraft of its air force would have shot down a Yak-130 aircraft. Yes, a Russian Yak-130 aircraft that was in Iran. Apparently this is what the Israeli forces say, but it would have to be confirmed. There is no confirmation from either side. What is certain is that a new aircraft has been shot down over Tehran. We will be seeing whether it is a fighter of the Israeli Air Force or of the United States Air Force, or if it is simply another Iranian aircraft in this case that would have been shot down. For now there is no confirmation, we only know that there is a new aircraft down in this case in the Iranian sky, but we cannot confirm which side it belongs to and until we have confirmation we cannot clarify it, but there is confirmation that something was shot down, evidently a fighter. The Israelis say that an F-35 shot down the Yak-130. We will be confirming it shortly. That regarding what is happening mainly in what are the skies of Tehran, the bases of Tehran, let's say in Iran in general. And well, as usual, different attacks are reported, well, again the downed aircraft, the decoy and well, Iranian missiles. Today the attacks with Iranian missiles will be revealed. We are going to show you several interesting images of United States bases that have been hit in recent days, which are not few, there are quite a lot, right? Here we see how Iran releases these videos again showing that it has the means to respond. Yesterday in the live broadcast we also showed interesting videos. These are videos that reveal the range, right? Of Iranian missiles which, as I always say, have the means to respond. And here come these Iranian missiles that are hitting, right? The infrastructure of United States bases and also Israel over the days. We must say that yesterday the CIA headquarters, yes, was also hit. We will be explaining it as part of today's program. We will return again to the map because in reality attacks by Iran against important installations of Israel and the United States throughout the Middle East continue. And today we are going to talk in a particular way about what has happened as well. Yes, of course, with this issue of the destroyers. Today, in addition to talking about the missiles that we are going to show you, we are also going to be talking, of course, about the war at sea. The war reaches the sea. While the war is already in the air and on land, a war in every sense, by sea, by land, by air, a war in every sense of the word. Yes, a total war by sea, by land, by air. Total war between Iran, Israel and the United States, and where all these monarchies, the Gulf monarchies, have now also been involved. Yes. Well, as usual, we are going to be talking about the attacks that have been carried out recently on Israel and on other countries, where above all the attacks that have been carried out on Jerusalem and also on Tel Aviv stand out. These are images of Jerusalem, which are from this morning, a strike on Jerusalem, which has been hit again by Iranian drones and missiles that continue causing devastation, as you can see, throughout the Middle East, from Israel through Iraq, also, of course, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Oman, as we have seen, Kuwait, and the strikes on Jerusalem continue, as we can see in these images. More explosions are reported in Jerusalem, as we can see, more explosions are reported in Jerusalem. There we can observe it, more explosions that are reported throughout Jerusalem, as a result of these Iranian attacks. That is to say, the attacks continue regardless of the fact that Israel has attacked Iran, because Iran has the means to respond. This is Tel Aviv right now in the morning. A strike on Tel Aviv as well that is being reported by different media, strikes on Tel Aviv. And well, more strikes are also reported on Tel Aviv, as we can observe in these images that we are showing you next. Yes. Also, of course, Iraq has been attacked. In this case, the Victoria Air Base in Baghdad has also been attacked by Iranian missiles and drones, especially by drones that continue to have tremendous range, right? This is at the Victoria Base in Baghdad, which has also been hit in recent hours by these attacks carried out by Iran recently. There we can observe it. This is a drone attack on a United States Air Base in Baghdad. Yes, This base is called Victoria, but at Victoria Base a great defeat is being inflicted on the United States, as you can see with that image we are showing you, right? Direct hit that we can already observe. Also, of course, attacks continue on Bahrain and on United States positions and bases. Later we will make a summary of all the bases that have been hit. Here we are going to get to Bahrain. What is happening in Bahrain is important. Iran continues hitting with tremendous ease the United States bases in Bahrain that are being struck. They are suffering quite a lot, right? This is in Bahrain right now. This is a Garan drone that is hitting, right? Apparently the United States positions in Bahrain. There we can see it directly, direct hit, direct impact, as many call it. All this is in Bahrain. That is, let's say, some already thought that Iran had run out of its arsenal, right? But it has the means to respond. Now, while all this is happening, dear friends, the war at sea also begins to develop. But we are going to bring you, let's say, some images of how the bases are looking and what has happened to all the United States radars in recent days. And satellite images confirm that Iran has attacked and destroyed several high-level United States assets, among them 2 N/GSC-52B radars in Bahrain, 3 radomes at the Erupted base in Kuwait, an N/TP radar in the United Arab Emirates, another N/TPY radar in Jordan, an N/FPS-132 radar in Qatar, plus 8 buildings or structures related to satellite communications infrastructure in Kuwait plus a site near a radome with a possible impact on a TPY-2 radar. As you can see, this is a serious strategic defeat for the United States, if you will. We can see here all the blows that the United States bases have received. Here we have several images. For example, this is the Al Udeid base in Qatar. We also have Ali Al Salem. Well, this is the radar before, the N/TP radar before and the damaged structure after. There you can observe it. It has been heavily hit, as you know. Also here you can see the radome how it was before and after the damaged structure, all this on March 3rd. More images as well of how all these installations have ended up, so that you can observe the way things are unfolding and how quickly. Well, also remember that in Saudi Arabia the United States consulate had been hit a couple of days ago, but now also, or yesterday, it was reported that the CIA base in Saudi Arabia would also have been hit. And it is that Iran had attacked the CIA headquarters in Saudi Arabia according to the Washington Post. It is likely that Iranian drones attacked the CIA building at the United States Embassy in Saudi Arabia, according to 2 sources who informed the Washington Post. This would represent a symbolic victory for Tehran, which has been attacking United States installations and personnel in the Middle East. The CIA declined to comment. According to the State Department, the attack caused part of the embassy's roof to collapse and the interior to fill with smoke. The embassy suffered structural damage. There you can see it. That is to say, in Saudi Arabia, this time the CIA headquarters was hit and the United States continues to receive many blows. And well, since we are in Saudi Arabia, it was also reported today that Ras Tanura of Saudi Aramco, which houses the largest domestic refinery and a key crude export terminal, was the target of an attempted drone attack on Wednesday, a spokesperson for the Saudi Ministry of Defense told, 2 days after a drone attack on the complex shut down the refinery. The attack caused no damage this time, the spokesperson said. The Saudi state news agency also quoted a source from the Ministry of Energy, who stated that there were no supply disruptions. As you can see, that is to say, Saudi Arabia also continues to receive quite a few impacts from Iranian drones and missiles, especially drones, and not so much Saudi Arabia itself, but rather United States bases and interests in Saudi Arabia. Now, in Saudi Arabia, I meant to say. Now, as you know, the Navy of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps would have taken operational control of the Strait of Hormuz and no vessel will be allowed to pass. Yes. And since the war began, Iran has attacked at least 10 tankers and ships that attempted to violate the blockade. And all of this is taking place in the Strait of Hormuz. This set off alarms mainly because, as you know, Iran had imposed a blockade to close the Strait of Hormuz so that nothing enters and nothing leaves the Strait of Hormuz. Nothing goes in, nothing comes out, right? Apparently that is what was happening. But it turns out that in recent hours several incidents have occurred here in the Strait of Hormuz and the first of them we want to mention are those referred to here. Here is the corvette Soleimani, in honor of the general whom the United States precisely killed in Iraq with drones during the previous administration of Donald Trump. This is the Soleimani corvette, which has been hit precisely. This Soleimani corvette has been struck by, apparently, the United States Air Force. Here you can see the Soleimani corvette that is burning at this moment. This is in the Strait of Hormuz, right at this instant. There we can see it. It has been destroyed. Apparently it was hit by United States aviation. It does not appear to be any type of naval drone or some kind of submarine or some type of torpedo, because that is not how it would burn, right? Or that is not how it would be shown if it were an attack of that type. This is apparently an aerial attack on the Soleimani corvette in the Strait of Hormuz. This is right at this very minute. But after that, images were shown of another ship that is burning at this moment in the Strait of Hormuz. Look how the war has reached the sea, right? Another ship burning in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran had already said that any ship that sailed would be attacked. Apparently there are Iranian ships that have also been attacked, but there can also be mentioned images of, well, information that we can say that Iran has also been attacking this type of vessels with drones, right? This is in the Strait of Hormuz at this very instant that we are showing you, right? Basically this is how it is. The war has been taken to the sea, but that is not all, because in addition to all this information it was reported that yet another ship in the Strait of Hormuz would have been hit by Iranian attacks. And well, at the last minute we were brought some very interesting information that we are going to show you, and that has to do precisely with this, and we are going to position ourselves on the map so that you can see it. Here we have Iran. Here is Iran and here is India, as you can see, right? That is, Iran. And well, as you can see, very close is India, right? What has happened in recent hours? Well, apparently a United States Navy destroyer was hit by missiles in the Indian Ocean. This is the Indian Ocean, as you can see, right? The Indian Ocean that was shown earlier. According to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the ship was hit by Qatar 380 missiles and by the naval forces of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps while it was refueling 650 kilometers off the coast of Iran by a United States tanker aircraft. According to intelligence information, after a large-scale fire on two ships, the sky over the ocean filled with black smoke, according to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. And well, here we can see, well, this is not the destroyer. This is a United States destroyer. It is the same one that we have in this image, which was near the Indian Ocean, close to India, but we do not know if it is this same one that was hit. What other media had published recently, right here near Mumbai, as you can see, let us locate ourselves on the map again. Mumbai, here is India and here is Iran. Yes, well, excuse me, this is not Iran, this is Oman. But well, you know what I mean by this. Here is Iran, a bit further north. Yes. The Islamic Republic. And here is India. Yes, now yes, here is India, as you can see, Mumbai. It is important to take into account the statement expressed by the Condottiero outlet. Iran claims that it launched a missile attack against a United States destroyer and set it on fire, something that would later have been confirmed by NASA thermal map data that monitor fires. The United States destroyer was located very close to Indian waters. Here you can see Mumbai, Indian waters, which allows one to assume that India would be allowing the use of its ports to carry out United States attacks against Iran. Which, imagine, is terrible for this to happen. As you know, India is in fact a BRICS country: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, although after this war we will see what meaning this organization will have, because, well, I do not want to talk much about that, right? But many things can be said about this situation. But well, corresponding above all to this, India has allowed, right? That evidently its ports can be used by United States vessels, in this case destroyers. And as you can see, a United States destroyer apparently was indeed hit. And well, according to confirmation by NASA's own data, the United States destroyer was located very close to Indian waters. Iran launched a missile attack against this destroyer and it caught fire, which would also be being confirmed by the statement of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. This is what has fundamentally occurred. As you can see, the war has arrived, the war has also reached the sea, naval warfare, a war in every sense of the word, yes, a total war where ships are involved, aircraft involved as well. As you can see, the situation has been quite complicated in recent hours. This is basically what is happening. So apparently a United States destroyer would have been hit, yes, near Mumbai. We also see how India, that is already participating de facto in this war. We also see how in the Strait of Hormuz ships have been hit, even warships. So the situation continues to escalate, dear friends, more and more. We also have some statements, although we prefer to leave these statements for the live video that will be later, right? We will do that later. In fact, today we announced it, this live video will be even earlier. We just wanted to communicate that apparently a ballistic missile launched from Iran and detected heading toward the airspace of Turkey after crossing the airspace of Iraq and Syria was intercepted and neutralized in a timely manner by NATO air and missile defense elements deployed in the eastern Mediterranean. So some missile escaped toward Turkey. As you can see, Iran, being such a large and strategic country, is also being attacked for that reason. And we see how apparently some missile would have escaped toward Turkey. Here we see Turkey, as you can see, and here is the Islamic Republic. We will see whether this is not a false flag attack to try to involve Turkey in this war. Remember that yesterday the President of the United States also expressed the following, or rather it was reflected, according to the Wall Street Journal, as follows. Trump wants to use illegal Kurdish armed groups in a war against Tehran. Trump is willing to consider supporting Iranian groups, including Kurdish forces, if they take up arms against the government of Tehran. Trump held talks with leaders of Iraqi Kurdistan, and a source of the publication described the talks as sensitive. According to the newspaper, no decision has yet been made regarding the supply of weapons or intelligence support. Such a strategy could theoretically turn Iranian opposition groups into a ground component of the war with political support from Washington. Observers have also noted a change in Trump's rhetoric, whereas before he spoke about the possibility of negotiations with Tehran, he now speaks of their absence and does not rule out armed support for opponents of the Iranian leadership, as well as a ground operation. Personally, I do not believe they will launch any ground operation, at least not with United States soldiers, but they could arm groups so that they can confront the Iranian ground army, which is a strong army. While Iran has been attacked by air and by sea, as you can see, a ground invasion is another matter altogether. These are very serious words. I do not think they would do it lightly, but if they decide to do it, in any case, if they decide to do it, the Iranian army will be waiting. Nevertheless, today there were words from a Sudanese army general who stated that if the United States and Israel send ground forces to Iran, I swear by God that we will support our brothers in Iran, we will send brigades to Iran and we will volunteer to fight. A ground war, dear friends, as you can see in Iran, would receive the support of several pro-Iranian governments as well. So Sudan would join the ground war if the United States and Israel send ground forces to Iran. I doubt it will happen, honestly, but I have been so surprised by what has happened in recent days that anything could happen, dear friends. So we cannot be complacent, anything can happen. And well, really, as you can see, Sudan and other countries, such as Yemen, Yemeni militias, would come to support Iran, also of course Iraqi militias, in short, a war that would continue to have not even regional but global implications. That is all for now in this brief video. Later we will make another video that will be related to the war in Ukraine, which we cannot forget, dear friends. Practically no channel makes updates on the war in Ukraine. We will do so later. And well, later on, in what is the late afternoon and evening in the American continent, a bit earlier than yesterday, we will do a live video. Yes, a live video, and we will do it a bit earlier because the truth is, well, we also have other obligations to fulfill, and well, not everything is making videos. Making 2 or 3 videos daily is not easy at all, but here we are to bring you the information. Expect later the video about the Ukrainian conflict, for those who follow the Ukrainian conflict, because when the war in the Gulf ends, all eyes will return to Ukraine. So for now, dear friends, we say goodbye for the moment. We will see each other later in a next video. May God bless you all. Do not forget to leave your like, please, and do not forget to subscribe to the Erzin Front so that you receive notifications of the videos we upload daily. Okay friends. Thank you very much for your attention and may God bless you all. See you.